We arrive at the Cochin International Airport, the world's first fully solar energy powered airport, 28 kilometres north of Kochi city. Kochi, or Cochin, is a major port city on India's southwest coast in Kerala. It's been a port since 1341, when a flood carved out its harbour, opening it to Arab, Chinese and European merchants. The centre of Indian spice trade for many centuries, Kochi was first documented in the writings of the Chinese sea captain Ma Huan during his visit in the 15th century as part of Admiral Zheng He's treasure fleet. It was occupied by the Portuguese in 1503 and later by the Dutch and the British. These traditional Chinese fishing nets may have been introduced by Admiral Zheng He's fleet in the 15th century. Each is about 10 metres high and 20 metres across, with a cantilever arm stretching the net over the water, and large stones up to 30 centimetres in diameter suspended from different length ropes as counterweights at the other end. Street vendors will cook the catch to order.
Tape, bowl, tea bowl, butterfly, peacock, monkey drum, Indian drum, motor tie, bangle, sunflower, mandala drum, 52 items, many designs.
St Francis Church was built in 1503 and is one of India's oldest European churches. Vasco da Gama died in Cochin in 1524 on his third visit to India and was originally buried here, but 14 years later his remains were removed to Lisbon. The Dhobi Khana public laundry is run by Tamils and dates from 1720. The family-operated co-op has a building for ironing. Eight-kilo traditional irons, some 50 years old, are still fired with coconut shell charcoal. This building has concrete washing tubs with slabs for slapping the fabrics. A field of clotheslines has each worker's family with their own lines of braided coir fibre where strands are open to hold the clothes without pegs. The Mattencherry Palace is a Portuguese palace also known as the Dutch Palace, which features portraits and exhibits of the Rajas of Kochi and traditional murals of Hindu temple art. The palace was built and gifted to the King of Cochin by the Portuguese in 1555. Next to the palace is a temple to the ancestral deity of the Cochin royal family. It shares a wall with the Jewish synagogue. Kathakali dance dramas are performed by men in lavish costumes, heavily made up, who use hand gestures, facial expressions and rhythmic dancing to portray traditional legends. It's about a 6-hour drive from Fort Kochi to Munnar, the road winding up to the highlands of the Western Ghats through tropical forest and passing the occasional rubber plantation and villages along the way. At an elevation of 1,600 metres, Munnar is one of many hill stations in the Western Ghats. It's surrounded by tea plantations and was once the summer resort of the British. Our hotel, the Tropic Green, sits perched like an eagle's eyrie on the mountainside overlooking the misty valley far below.
Yeah. pretty old. British time is working.
The Lockhart Tea Museum in Munnar is part of one of the earliest tea plantations here, established in 1879 by the von Rosenberg family, initially growing cinchona, then coffee, and finally tea. The factory produces about 20 million kilos of tea a year and is now owned by one of India's largest tea cultivators. The Matapeti Dam, opened in 1953, was built in the mountains near Munnar as a storage dam for hydroelectric power. It's a pleasant drive down from the highlands to the backwaters of Kerala, our last stop in India. We stay at the lovely Kumarakom Lake Resort on the banks of Lake Vembanad. Although Hindi is widely spoken, Malayalam is the official language of Kerala state, Mala meaning mountain, and Alam land or place. Vembanad is the largest lake, covering 2,033 square kilometres. We spent a wonderful day exploring the backwaters aboard our private Ketavalam, a traditional thatched houseboat 30 metres long. These were originally grain barges transporting rice and were frequently liveaboard. Now converted for tourism, ours has 2 air-conditioned en-suited bedrooms and dining area, a forward lounge deck and a galley, plus our own chef to cook our lunch. The backwaters are a network of canals, brackish lagoons and lakes, eventually emptying into the Arabian Sea, where barrages prevent salt water entering, keeping fresh water for irrigation. There are more than 900 kilometres of waterways, including 5 large lakes linked by man-made and natural canals and fed by 38 rivers. Villages along the canals depend on the waters both for transport and their livelihood. India, a deliciously mad mash-up of peoples, cultures, landscapes, religions, geography and architecture, equal parts exhausting and exhilarating.